começou, ela pediu pra mim trazer um pão pra ela comer, umas bisnaguinhas que ela gostava. E daí pediu pra ele levar ela no mercado, ele saiu no mercado e voltar pra comprar uma Nutella. E daí eu acordei, daí eu fui deitar, aí vi 8 horas, daí mandei mensagem pra ela se ela tinha, brincando assim, né, se ela tinha errado o caminho do mercado dela. Botou kkkk, mas um kkk muito estranho, não parecia ser ela que estava digitando. Se passava das 9 horas, eu acabei pegando sono, né? Eu acordei, era 11h40, ela não estava mais em casa. Não estava indo em casa, daí eu liguei para ele e ele disse que tinha deixado ela ali em casa. Mas como o carro dele é muito barulhento, no canto de escape a nossa rua não tem saída, o carro dele não entrou ali. Tava praticamente todo mundo acordado, né? No horário que ele falou que deixou ela ali, que era 9 e pouco, né? Depois que aconteceu, daí a gente ficou sabendo bastante ameaça e coisa que ele fazia pra ela, né? Aí ele pegou e... acho que por isso, por ele ser obcecado por ela, ele acabou fazendo isso. No fim, ele era muito maldoso. E depois, assim que aconteceu, a gente ficou recebendo bastante mensagem das amigas e de bastante gente, assim, que ele ameaçava e que ele já chegou a bater nela. E eu não sabia. Ele enforcou tudo ela.
Imagine your 14-year-old daughter leaving with her boyfriend who is 10 years older than her and never comes home. This isn't a crime thriller. This is the real-life nightmare that shattered a family's world. A story of young love, hidden darkness, and a life stolen too soon. Hola, hello, and welcome to Blood and Samba, your weekly dive into Brazil's most shocking and mysterious true crime cases. If this is your type of content, please consider liking and subscribing, as we have the wildest cases coming out of Brazil. Now, let's dive into this story that is full of mistakes both from the victim's parents and the community at large. Meet Maria Gabriela. Vibrant, ambitious, and full of dreams. At just 14, she adored her baby brother, cracked jokes with her mom, and dreamed of solving crimes as a forensic expert. Her friends called her the light in the room. She was a brilliant child, said her mother, in an interview. She loved watching true crime movies and solving mysteries so much that she wanted to become a forensic expert. Unfortunately, Maria's own life would soon become a case she never got to solve. For parents, it's sometimes hard to understand their children, especially when they reach puberty or their adolescent years. It's not always that the parents don't understand. Rather, they have already lived through that stage, made all the silly mistakes, and learned the difference between right and wrong. But as young adults, children want to explore the world, make their own mistakes, and learn from them. Which, unfortunately, can sometimes be a costly decision, as in the case of Maria Gabriela. Sometimes, there's nothing parents can do to stop this. And in such cases, it's often better to give children a little bit of freedom rather than trying to control them, because doing so can damage the parent-child relationship. That's what Maria's parents decided to do. They gave her the freedom to make her own choices. Around the age of 13 or 14, she began a relationship with Anderson Burigo, who was nearly 10 years older than her, 23 at the time. The thing is, Anderson was a family friend who had known Maria since she was a baby, because he was a close friend of Maria's older brother. Since Anderson had been around the family for a long time, Maria's parents had no reason not to trust him. They believed he was a good person. They reasoned that, at the very least, by allowing the relationship with someone they knew, they could keep a close eye on their daughter while she explored love and relationships. As their relationship progressed, Maria's mother said that her daughter seemed happy in the beginning. Anderson would do anything Maria asked for. He showered her with expensive gifts and took her out on dates. Although Maria and her mother had a good relationship, Maria didn't share everything that was going on in the relationship. She chose not to tell her mother certain things, likely to avoid worrying her. Instead, she confided in her friends and told them everything. While the relationship appeared healthy and beautiful to the family, behind closed doors, it was actually falling apart. In a message Maria shared with her friends, One of them asked, "Why did he beat you?" She responded, "Because I wanted to break up with him. I wasn't feeling good about the relationship anymore. It just wasn't working out." She continued, "So I went to have a conversation with him, and he wrapped his hands around my neck and slapped me. Not just any slap, a painful slap," she told her friends. Anderson was very controlling and possessive, to the point that he didn't allow Maria to her friends. Her friends also said that Anderson once assaulted a boy who was friends with Maria and even threatened to run him over with his car. Now, imagine this 14-year-old child living in an abusive relationship at the very start of her adolescent years. She felt hopeless and couldn't tell her family, because Anderson had threatened to kill her and her entire family if she left him. Despite her young age, Maria had the insight and courage to recognize that she was in an abusive relationship. Eventually, she confided in her mother and said she was no longer comfortable in the relationship and wanted out. On February 12th, the day she disappeared, Maria told her mother about the insulting messages she had been receiving from Anderson, all because she went a few hours without responding to his texts. He accused her of sleeping with another man during that time. On the fateful day, Maria told her mom that she and Anderson were going to have a conversation about the future of their relationship. Anderson came to pick her up in his car, and Maria mentioned she was also going to buy some snacks, including the little bread rolls she liked so much and Nutella. Her mother wasn't particularly worried, as this kind of drive was a regular occurrence. They had done it many times before, and Anderson had always dropped Maria off on time. At around 8 p.m., her mother sent her a text, jokingly asking, "Did you take the wrong way to the market?" To which Maria responded, "Laugh out loud." However, something about the response felt off. It wasn't how her daughter typically wrote. Just for context, in Brazil, instead of laugh out loud, people usually type KKKK or KSKSKS to express laughter. Maria always used KSKSKS. So her mother immediately sensed that the message hadn't been written by her daughter. By 9 p.m., Maria's mother grew more concerned and began calling her. In response, Maria sent a message saying that her mother-in-law was preparing some hot dogs for them to eat and that she would be home soon. While waiting for her daughter, Maria's mother eventually dozed off. She woke up around 11 p.m. and realized that Maria still hadn't come home. Understandably panicked, like any mother of a 14-year-old would be, she video-called Anderson, demanding to know what he had done with her daughter. She could sense that something had gone wrong. Anderson told her that he didn't know where Maria was, claiming he had dropped her off at around 10 p.m. But Maria's mother didn't believe him. Their street had only one entrance, and Anderson's car was very loud. It would have been impossible for him to come and go without being noticed. She continued pressing him for answers. Anderson then sent a voice note explaining what he claimed had happened that night. He said they went to the gas station to fill up the car, then returned to his house to eat the hot dogs his mother had prepared. Afterward, they went to the supermarket and bought some snacks. He said he dropped Maria off at 10 p.m. and even shared the receipt as proof. He also sent Maria's mother a screenshot of the last messages he claimed to have sent her that night. The messages read, "Good night, my angel. May God bless you always, my princess. Sleep with God. We'll see each other tomorrow again. I love you, my angel. My love, why are you not responding? What happened? You went to sleep without wishing me good night?" Maria never saw the messages. There were no replies. This made her mother even more anxious. At that point, she began to doubt everything Anderson had told her and suspected that he was simply building an alibi for himself for the events of that night. A day passed with no news of her daughter, so Maria's mother, Deborah, went to the police. She recounted everything that had happened the previous day and stressed that her daughter had never stayed out that long before. The police immediately launched a search for Maria. Anderson was brought in for questioning but was later released due to a lack of evidence. The authorities asked the community for help. Posters were placed on street poles, and social media was flooded with posts trying to locate Maria Gabriela. Deborah remained in contact with Anderson, who claimed he had traced Maria's phone and that the location was near her home. A search team was formed, and eventually Maria's phone was found, but it was broken, lying on a nearby street close to her house. What made Anderson look even more suspicious was that he didn't assist in the searches. He vanished. Some people in the community claimed they had seen him hiding in the woods. The search continued for 2 more agonizing days until, on Friday, February 14th, city workers made a devastating discovery. A body was found floating in the Itajai River. The police were called immediately. It was confirmed at the scene to be that of a young girl, likely between the ages of 14 and 16. She had suffered multiple aggressive injuries, deep, sharp cuts, most likely inflicted by a knife. Identification was swift due to the clothes she wore and a tattoo Maria had. 2 days after the discovery of the body, Anderson was arrested, at a house right next to his own. During questioning, Anderson admitted to being violent with Maria. He confessed to hitting her, but he denied having anything to do with her death. Anderson was indicted for femicide, concealment of a corpse, and psychological violence against a woman. He still has to be sentenced. The municipality offered heartfelt condolences to Maria's family. But soon after, the judgment began. People started blaming Deborah for allowing her 14-year-old daughter to date a 23-year-old man. In my opinion, yes, she made a mistake. But let's not put the full weight of blame on her shoulders. Raising children doesn't come with a manual. Parents often learn through trial and error, and I believe Deborah did what she thought was best for her child at the time. Today, Anderson sits in jail, denying murder, but admitting his rage. Maria's family waits for answers, waits for justice. But this story is not just about Maria Gabriela. It's a wake-up call. How many teenagers are trapped in relationships they don't know how to leave? How many Andersons walk among us, hiding behind sweet gestures and fake smiles? Maria Gabriela dreamed of becoming a forensic expert. She wanted to solve cases and bring justice. Now, her voice echoes through every parent's worst nightmare. Share her story. Break the silence. Because no one should vanish without a trace. If you or someone you know is in an abusive relationship, please seek help. You are not alone. Maria Gabriela Nunes was laid to rest with a beautiful ceremony full of loved ones. If you found this story compelling, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on the cases we cover. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay safe. Ciao.